this series, but the thing that I haven't seen just yet is I'm seeing a lot of Let's Go Dyers and a lot of Let's Go Radiants. No giveaway entrance just yet. I mean, I set the bar reasonably high with 5,000 points, but
this game,
there's some juicy stuff.
We could see him go for a build that allows him to fulfill that role, like you were highlighting, because that the need to blink this game. Eris is not going to get one at a rate where he can be the one initiating. So, if it's going to be that Vanguard into blink build, or if he's even going to go like Vanguard Hood potentially, I really am intrigued how Van wants to itemize on the Centaur.
Just launched our predictions on the stream. Let's see if people get amongst it. We've got 1,000 people in chat so far. Hopefully that'll continue to grow throughout this series. But the thing that I haven't seen just yet is I'm seeing a lot of Let's Go Dyers and a lot of Let's Go Radiants.
Awkward spot.
A very quick glimpse of him. Oh, don't think they saw him drop that second Observer Lord.
Yeah, they're just gonna see where it's all placed.
Oh, they stuffed up the sentry though.
Oh yeah, they put it on the wrong side. And Yas is like, no boys, that's wrong place there.
Get that
Radiant on this high ground. Yas is actually gonna be pretty careful.
You need more
Void wants to level up the bash. He needs help. He's actually going to snowball through and maybe try and steal the bounty before he dies, but Grims will pick up first blood. There will be 3 bounties for 496, but they give up the first blood to the Grimstroke there.
Don't think that's what you want. I mean, we talked about the potential for the tri-lanes. Tusk is going to TP right back down. If they can pick him off one more time, that's going to be a long time out of the lane, and then you can start to heavily bully DAPTV. Oh, he's here.
They might go now. Yeah, they saw they pinged it. They'll at least put out a decent amount of damage.
Exactly what you want as well, right? It's not like he's going to put any aggressive pressure on. You just saw he leveled up the snowball. No tag team. I see no aggression, but snowballs in onto Eris. Exactly what a Biggie wants, though. Some Grims, they're doing a pretty good job of staying out of experience range. They're not going to be able to avoid it for the next few, but at least able to get a couple of creeps.
So this does leave the Van Centaur in a solo matchup right now versus the Sven and the Oracle. Is this a lane where you just see the Centaur maybe playing for pulls?
I think you kind of have to. You need to get your super early levels. They're going on him pretty heavily, but not yet level 2 on Bombi, so you don't have insane burst potential. It's going to be enough.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, you need a couple of the stun from Drew, the root from Bombi, and the good old right clicks is plenty to bring down Van.
And that's going to be really rough for him. Yes, you're letting Drew get a lot of experience now solo in the lane. Bombi getting onto level 3 makes Centaur's life horrible.
Yeah, now it gives them that kind of burst potential they need. It's falling low, they get the Inkswell stun, and Yassi's gonna fall. Bingy picking up his first kill of the game here, and we see both safe lanes going well. It looks like Eris just gonna try and get a refill of the resources here, but a lane we haven't seen at the moment. Taking a look at mid is Hung on the Morphling up against James's Queen of Pain. Do we feel like this lane's, how is this gonna fare between the two?
I mean, of course, as a Morphling, when he scales, he's always going to have a bit of an easier time now. Got this bottle picked up by the Morphling and do his own rotating towards the runes. Going to get punished or get it denied away by Jamesy. Be able to pick up his one in the bottle, though. I mean, the thing I'm a little bit surprised about is that he's got the 2 points into the Shadow Strike. He's been able to get them off reasonably well onto Hung, and we can see with that Adaptive Strike used, he knows that he can continuously harass him. It's not like he can waveform away from it. Got on a little.
Taking a bit of damage, Van just hit up that level 3, but with Drew swinging on over, He's going to try and push back the Lion, but Van's got enough damage regardless without the help of those extra last right clicks from Eris there. So they pick up a kill, and that's very nicely done for them. Eris TPing back, getting the items after a solid start to their tri lane, and then coming back up top to help Van Centaur.
Not too bad at all. We can see Bombi's been able to at least get the remainder of these creeps before they can try and manipulate the lane a little bit more, but it's going to mean that Bombi is going to struggle to collect all of them here. Again, still about half a level away from this Oracle's level 3. That's the big key timing for 496 in this.
Yeah, unfortunately Drew's lacking a bit of mana. I mean, he's got stick and a stun available if they get aggressive when Bombi hits up that level 3. So maybe if Eris over positions, or I guess Bombi's got some mango. Drew's still looking to fight though, even with the help of Bombi's 2 points in the Purifying Flame, but Eris gets a little bit of extra space and he's fine. We did see the Grimstroke end up falling, however, across the map here. That was a death that got picked up from Yassi's Tusk.
See now, Bombi's obviously putting a lot more mana into harassing down Eris, so he can't stay in this lane until at least he's finished up those Tranquil Boots, and he's going to be able to, you know, just regen it up. Not often that you're going to be able to get in range for the right clicks, but as long as you just are only taking that magic damage, you should be okay for the sustained side of it.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna see at the moment. I mean, Hung is having a good lane. As you said, a bit surprised that Jamesy's put that second point in the Shadow Strike because of the harass. Isn't really going to do much versus a Morphling, especially with the change to the attribute shift. It's just so much easier to play around with these early levels, and you know, this is a hero that, you know, kind of likes having the bottle early on as well, especially with the change to all the runes that you can play with. But Yassi down bot, he's got Snowball to dodge the Ink Swell. He's going to push through a Bingy, but with a bash after the Snowball, should land him that kill there.
This is not how you want a Tusk lane to go super early on, though. You can see, obviously assisted somewhat by the first blood that Grims was able to get, but already a good 300 gold ahead of this.
Yeah, 3 deaths early here for Yassi is really not what you want. He's going to try and help out Hung. Doesn't really need, you know, that BB's lanes in a pretty good spot right now. No need to soak up that experience. So how about your Morphling? Maybe even see how you can play around with Hung's replicate now as Jamesy. He's got the blinking. Yeah, we're going to see Jamesy can get a lot more impactful here on the Queen of Pain than what Hung will be able to. They're going to snowball in. They're going to be careful of Jamesy's burst potentially if Morphling plays in a bit of a low health pool margin as, well, they'll drop the ultimate to find the kill on the Tusk. And meanwhile, because Tusk was playing away from that BB, it gives Radiant a great opportunity to bring down the Death Prophet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You normally think about this Tusk as the hero that can do a lot of this punishing. Oh, getting with the haste rune coming up there by Hung, but no, Eris has probably been the MVP so far this game. You know, he hasn't died at all. He's been part of 4 kills. He's rotated to mid. He's secured runes, and he's made sure to punish this this Fen Oracle combo.
Yeah, and he's given Van at least a decent time. He got that kill for him, and, you know, about to be 29 last hits for the Centaur. Vanguard already completed, so, and our Centaur is going to be able to farm very fast with this build. You know, he's got 3 points Retaliate. You see, it's just going to complement his item build incredibly well.
We'll see if they
Radiant's
he
bottom
actually
tower
TP's back
is
into
under
mid to
attack.
help now that the Vanguard is finished up. I was thinking maybe he's going to try and go top, bully the Sven out of the lane so you can make full use out of the siege creep, but they were already able to take it. Case is just going to make it a 3v2 actually. I'm sorry.
Being nice, Chrono. They're all grouped up as well, so they're going to double Ink Swell along with the stun from Eris. Hung's going to come down along with Bombi. They haven't found any kills just yet, and now that BB with the sustain, they're going to look to turn on a Bingy. Time Rock's still on cooldown of the Stampede, doesn't give you an opportunity to disengage. He was forced to stand his ground in man fight. A Signal Ultra lose too, and they're probably going to end up losing Grims as well. The root doesn't even require as Hung gets the kill with the adaptive strike. That's a double for the Morphling, and that's also the Chronosphere getting nothing really out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good attempt, right? Connecting onto 2, great chain use of all of your abilities, but at the end of the day, Faceless Void, not the highest damage super early on, unless you get super lucky with those time locks. And wasn't a Biggie's day this time.
It was with how he got the position in the chronosphere, it was perfect. We saw that double earth spike. They were close enough together for the Inkswell stun as well, but just some on-point rotations from 496 there. And, you know, this is that factor. If you don't burst the heroes down fast enough with someone like the Oracle nearby, someone like the Death Prophet who can get those Spirit Siphons off, and well, it can be very awkward. James is going to maybe think about bursting through Hung, seeing if you can do the calculations from top lane. They're going to lose the Tusk here. That Bing coming over, Eris, and actually Grim showing up. So Signal putting a lot of emphasis on infiltrating the safe lane of 496.
Makes total sense, right? You've got this more farm-heavy lineup with the Sven and the Morphling. You know that there's only so much farm on the map. You're going to need to take some away from the jungle. Taking away this tier 1 tower makes it a lot harder to play in this, at least these two camps where Grims and Eris are controlling through right now.
Been very impressed though with Bombi. He's constantly stacking on the Oracle. We see him already at the Triangle camp trying to get a stack the Ancients and the Hard, and well, he'll be successful. And yeah, Drew already, he farmed his way through. Well, Stampede Van's not going to tick out to the urn there. But yeah, we saw that Drew farm from top all the way down to the Ancients, going through multiple stacks there. So Oracle's just done a really good job, and this has kind of been enabled because of the Centaur mainly being solo for a period of time. And you know, Sven's going to free farm that matchup.
God strength as well, so he's going to pop it to take out his Ancient stack. Going to help somewhat and clear him out enough time. Jamesy should have known that this Observer Ward was up here in the mid lane as well. As he was positioning to try and take out Humping Bear, as he does just now, he was actually hit by the tower once when he was standing just to the left of the line of trees. And the only way you're going to do that is if there's either a ward, down next to the tower, or if there's one up on this high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Top lane?
attack.
Yeah, she's fine. So we saw that, well, yeah, Hung just got absolutely murked by Jamesy, but also he's got a Boots of Trouble first item here on the Morphling. So is he just looking to try and make a lot of space here this game and give it over to Drew so he can have a lot more of the safe farm?
I think that's exactly it. You got to pick one of these heroes that's able to actually make use out of that. If you've got the movement speed, you've got the waveform, you've got a little bit of survivability. There are very few heroes in the game can do it. Like Weaver is another one that can. Any of the spirits are able to actually take farm in these more aggressive positions. So I think that's going to be his role this game. It's a greedy way to go. I mean, if it's not punished, we've seen so many times. Greedy builds, the enemy team just sits back and farms.
Yassi, he just walked up, denied the catapult, and just drops. They both Void and Tusk drop a good old chat line there, but he's like, alright, that's time for me to get out. I got Chrono, let's use this big ultimate. They don't have the Sonic Wave, and Morphling's able to get the attribute shift. Let's see if they're going to be able to burst through the Death Prophet now. They need to switch their target now that Morphling has got that attribute shift off in the nick of time. And now Bombi coming over, Force Promise, drag through with the Snowball, gives a little bit of extra space here for that BB to play around with the Spirit Siphon. He's even going to drop the Exorcism, but they control off the Queen of Pain, and they find the Faceless Void Kill as well. 2 will drop on Signal Ultra, and they're more than likely going to end up losing their tier 1 tower. Maybe scratch that, maybe even extra hero as well as Ven. Without the Stampede, and they're going to dive underneath the tier 2 tower. They're going to be careful about the glyph. These multi shots are stacking up here. It's a lot of damage, but a great stance. Stops the stun lockdown from the Eris Lion there. Now 3 will fall from Signal.
That is so different. If Signal had the level 6 on the line, he is 1 creep away from being able to burst down that DP. Well, finally gets it. Maybe they're going to be able to try and get some sort of retaliate here onto at least the Tusk.
Oh boy.
They're going to pick it up, but still 2 minutes now where that Sonic Wave is on cooldown. And if you've got this farm heavy lineup, you're totally cool with that.
And that Grims as well might just bruise, as that's a lot of damage. 3 points Crypt Swarm, 4 points Purifying Flame. James has got a DD, wants some revenge, and now Eris with that Finger of Death, it's going to come into play, and even Bombi's going to end up losing his life as well. So Signal to lose a couple of heroes, and like, alright, time for us to get a couple kills as well, and maybe even some pressure on the tier 1 tower. 496 diving deep to that tier 2 wasted a lot of the Exorcism duration there, so they didn't actually do a whole lot of tower damage in the end.
Yeah, barely scratched it, and being able to get those couple of kills there on Jamesy, well, Yassi actually previously, he cleaned up 3 kills out of that entire lineup, but it's it's going to bring him a lot closer to that Orchid. You know, we talked about all these different spirits that can punish supports if they're trying to, you know, keep lanes pushed out. I mean, Morphling is kind of in the same boat, at least until he gets, you know, key item. He's going the E-Blade to start off, give him a little bit more burst damage, as we talked about before. They are good in these long-standing team fights, but they don't have a ton of burst potential right now on 6, which you're going to need if you're going to try and take care of this Faceless Void when he gets a bit more.
And you take a look right now at the net worth disparison between the position ones. I mean, Drew is just so far ahead, and he's been enabled because of the stacking from 496. You take a look at the last hits, it's 168 compared to the 70. You know, yes, this comes into play that being, I mean, he just picked up his farming item in the Maelstrom, and he's actually going to get kind of lucky here. I think with the tree positioning that Dai didn't see him, although they would have seen the creeps pulled away from the hard camp there, but they smoke up, get the kill on the Grim Strike there. We're going to drop the Chronosphere on 2 here, and Signal coming over with the Stampede. It means that Eris can lock in the Oracle, and they're going to look for the kill on Yassi as well. Shards gives him some distance. That baby is even going to commit for the Exorcism. I mean, they've got the outpost. The rotations are coming through. It's just Drew at the moment, and he can't really close the distance. He's now going to turn his attention to the river. Is now with the Stormhammer stun, locks in Jamesy.
That's a big misplay coming through from Jamesy. All you needed to do was rinse and reset, and they just used the Godspeed. They just used the Exorcism. You survived, and you're totally cool to go in again with your
tower has fallen.
Now, potentially they could look to rotate, get a lot more of your jungle taken away. It's going to be a lot harder for them to take this team.
Are you worried that the Faceless Void might not be able to keep up with like a mid-game timing that Dai could hit right now? Because, man, Drew is stupidly farming. He's a hero that doesn't really need as many items in the mid-game, and Faceless Void really does.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, you've just seen so many times. So effective with this team, right? Gives that percentage-based movement speed, very effective with having a Death Prophet in your lineup. Just allows the team to get that extra, you know, meter or two of space away from everyone else. So just night and day between the Faceless Void, that unless he's got Chronosphere, he just cannot be part of anything.
Yeah, I mean, it really puts you on a big window here on when you can get involved. You know, the cooldown 160 seconds maxed out with the ultimate for the Faceless Void, and you're now giving away a lot of space for 496. They've accumulated a 4,000 net worth lead, and you know, what's the Morphling still working on that E-Blade, so he's got the Ghost Scepter. You see here his net worth is of course not keeping up to the Sven's, but Yassi, he's got the blink already. Silence is a bit late, but the Snowball can follow him down, so they don't really get much distance with the Stampede. And even Drew now jumping on forward. Dai can really think about taking Roche. Maybe not right now, because Exo's down for 20, but they're going to smoke up, maybe for another pick-off here. It was underneath the Observe Ward in the river, though, so Signal Ultra do have information.
Going to back up with enough time. At least these creeps are going to be sniped away by Drew, which is really nice to have. Don't know what Grimm's Courier is doing up here, but it'll live for now.
Maybe just anticipating a ward to get placed up there. He's already got a sentry in the area.
But at least they were able to get the tier 1 town. You know, that means that they are opting to go for this Exorcism attempt. They're kind of second-guessing themselves a little bit. Only half a level away here on DAPDB from his limit.
Oh no, they walked up into a ward and they did destroy it. They just walked straight past the Observe Ward, and now with the shot as well, Van's going to get caught in place. Abing is going to drop an Iron Chronosphere here. It's on to 2, but once again with False Promise, if they don't catch Bombi, the Snowball dodges the Sonic Wave damage as well, so the Queen of Pain has to retreat with the blink, but not raiding. They can't really continue with the fight. Even over these 2 buybacks coming through from the supports, they do burst through Hung Hung, thanks to Eris's Finger of Death, but oh, it's 2 buybacks there for the 1 kill.
It's on the Morphling, so it's not terrible, but yeah, you mentioned it right. Like, you got an Observer Ward next to you that's placed pretty aggressively when you were just in the area and had just placed down a sentry. You know they're still around, and well, they got picked off from it. Good blink reveal coming through there from the Sven. Found this time Tusk, but he's actually found Eris. That's going to be a dieback.
55 seconds down on the deck.
Can't rush. No Exo, no God Strength. you know, probably just going to opt to go for a few towers if they can. Chronosphere is not available. We saw Sonic Wave used. It was a really nice dodge. I thought Yassi played that fight really well. Making sure to you know, be in the right position to be able to catch out the right people. Oracle got the promise onto him and even Snowball dodged the Sonic Wave.
I love how aggressive they're playing right now. Oh, Jesse gets bashed up maybe a couple more times, but Silence, Stampede, shot's gonna counter that, and now with a perfect chain lockdown with Faceless Boy, it's gonna get brought down in our van. He even shows his face in the wrong neighborhood. Hung utilizing that Centaur replicate. They're gonna find an extra juicy Centaur kill here. Oh, man. Posturing from 496 was just so on point. You knew the Lion was dead. You knew the abilities were on cooldown from Radiant. Let's just walk up the high ground aggressively, and now they can go back into Roche. God Strength, tag team. I think this is... No, Medallion's not picked up just yet, but it's not really required here.
Dire's bottom tower
good though.
is under
I mean,
attack.
you can't ask for too much more from Yassi here. Again, he was just on point with that initiation, making sure to get that chain locked down through onto the Faceless Void. Of course, assisted by the rest of the team with the silences, stuns, everything else coming through, but just having a game to remember after that. They're pretty disastrous early game.
Dire's
3
bottom
deaths by a
tower
Tusk
is
in the
under
later
attack.
stages.
Roshan has fallen to the ground.
He has indeed, and I was going to say, you're going to see how difficult it is now for Signal against a lot of the defensive factors that Dire have. If you drop a Chrono, but if you don't find the Oracle, we see that false promise coming into play, and even for like the Lion initiation, if you don't get the toss, then he can just blink forward Snowball and disrupt the combo.
And you saw it was the Morphling that actually ended up taking the Aegis. Obviously a lot less cooldown reliant than the Sven or the DP. Once they pop the God Strength and the Exorcism, they're much less useful. You got a waveform just to get neither and Hung, but it just enables him to again play that more aggressive style, right? He's got the boots of travel, he's got the waveform, he's got the magic resist from the Nether Shot. Magic damage can't hurt as well, but now he's even got the Aegis, so it's going to take a very heavy commitment from Signal Ultra to try and take him down.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Meantime though, they're able to get the tier 2. Signal probably getting the best possible trade they could have, taking out the ancient stack, which is quite nice.
Radiant are scanning.
You see that? I mean, Lion's got this blink queued up. Van has just had a tricky game here. Did he go that Vanguard? Oh no.
Now he's got that medallion, so you know you've got this lineup that includes a Sven. It's just gonna mean you're melted.
Double damage.
And he's accumulating a lot of gold right now. We're going to see that broken Solar Crest get picked up very shortly. You know, both the Morphling and Sven are absolutely going to love that.
You love to see it. You've got the God Strength available. Exorcism still, again, 70 seconds away, but playing around there. Honestly, they're not playing around each other amazingly. They're just punishing all movements coming through from Signal. Solo Siege Creep, though. Coming down towards the tower. Will they start to tank it up to make sure it survives?
Don't let it die.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Feels bad.
Poor Cardi's life. He just wanted to hit some towers. Just wanted to be
Radiant's
friend.
bottom
Let him
tower
live.
is under attack.
See, this tower might have died like a second or two faster now. Means you could have contested those bounties. Maybe farmed an extra camp. But you're just greedy. You didn't want to take those 2 tower hits. God damn it.
I hate it.
What the?
Hung,
Oh no.
Again, like, this is the other thing. You've got these supports that are not able to save themselves if they get jumped on by something like this Morphling. Nethershall not just going to be able to, save him from the Finger of Death, from the Stroke of Fate, from the Tree of Pain abilities.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, I'm hearing a bunch of ultimates being popped. They found... Oh, just able to jump away in time on the block.
You know, we were highlighting in the draft that Yassi gonna blink on Centaur is
Radiant's
Still
middle tower is
really
under
hard to
attack.
commit onto, although Drew wants to.
Radiant's
I
middle
say he's hard to
tower is
commit on. Drew just chunks him down. They drop the Chronosphere on two. Nice use of the Soul Bite as well with Finger of Death. And once again, they haven't been able to catch out Bombi.
Radiant's bottom tower
He also
is under
sidesteps
attack.
the Sonic Wave there, so the Oracle's not going to get burnt. And then 496 is going to be able to chase inside base with all the ultimates on cooldown. Signal, they don't even have buybacks regardless. It's an ultra for Hung Hung. The sole survivor from Signal Ultra nowhere to be seen as James is opting to try and cut the mid wave, but the bot wave's getting shoved in as well. Tier 3 tower is going to get claimed and going to lose some objectives
Radiant's
inside the
middle barracks
base.
are under attack.
And that's what happens when you don't have
Radiant's
the
middle
pinpoint
barracks
position
has
when you're
fallen.
going for these ganks, right? It just feels like one person is picked off every single time. And again, it's all about the burst potential against this 496
Radiant's
lineup.
middle
So many
barracks
times,
has
snowball
fallen.
save. So many times, false promise save. Offling again, just move away. Sven, he's tanking. Very few ways for you to die
Radiant's
right
bottom
now.
tower
496.
has fallen.
You just have, I think Centaur's dead as well. Yeah, he is. I mean, Sven might get bashed up here one more time. Drew's actually going to end up falling here. You also see the backline. James, he got the kill on Bombi. They're going to buyback coming through. Van wants to try and punish this with the Stampede. James is still in the back as well. Nice use of the silence. Van's going to jump in straight on top of that BB, but they're able to turn and get the kill on top of Jamesy. That B's still going to... Oh my lord. Yes, he's just so much outplaying them right now. This does keep that BB alive. You know, he's going to be able to TP out. The Tusk won't make it, but he's done his job. They got the kill on Jamesy. You got the death profit out. Yes, you did lose a couple heroes than what you were hoping for, but it could have been a lot worse there from 496.
Yeah, much worse. He says, well, I tried in the old chat, but I mean, I think he did more than try, my man. Being able to protect a core, they forced a buyback out of Van there. Really solid play. It honestly feels very tough to find a scenario where they're going to come back into this game. Queen of Pain, one of those heroes that absolutely needs to snowball if you're going to have any kind of effectiveness. It's not like you've got that level 25 safety net anymore, where at least you've got the fear coming through from your talent.
Oh, Riveras. Oh my god. Oh, maybe Grims as well, honestly. Ben. Nice use of the hoof stomp there. Gives some space to his support. But Hung Hung's still chasing, and along with 496 as well, that BB's actually going to commit the exorcism, but they can still connect with the death prophet and take the tower.
Yep. Use a smoke on the back. Take him down quickly enough. That's the question.
Chrono onto two. Where's the damage? James is going to blink on the back. He finally able to catch up Bombi. Now with the Orchid Sonic Wave, they bring him down, but Drew, they find the kill on James. Even though he popped the BKB, they've got the burst potential. Now with the control on top of the faces void as well. Signal Ultra, the cores just can't sustain all the damage right now. 496 have accumulated way too much of a net worth lead. The levels and items showing up big here in these team fights.
Out that Oracle, a little bit of poor positioning coming through there. He had the Blink Dagger, so he didn't need to be
Dire's
standing
top
right in the middle of the
tower
team
is
fight,
under
but the Orchid
Radiant
Silence ends up taking him
structures
down.
are
Again, though,
fortified.
you just got so much damage on these other three cores. It punishes the fact that you weren't able to
Radiant's
get aggressive
top
enough
tower
against the
has
other
fallen.
team. We see it time and time again. And it's not like... it's not something that we say too often, you know, see teams lacking
Radiant's top
aggression
barracks
to be able
has
to
fallen.
punish too deep movement.
Yeah, usually you see that
Radiant's
it's
top barracks
the C teams that are all out aggression here and can do that, but it's just a game where 496 looking really, really clean. And you know, this was I guess a draft coming into it, we were kind of questioning, you know, the Sven last pick, putting the Morphling mid, the DP in the off lane, but 496 just had the game plan and they executed.
I'm still of the mentality of I really don't rate Faces. He just does nothing in the first 25 minutes of the game. It's not like he's even landed some bad chronospheres. I feel like Bingies have been pretty damn good. But yeah, again, you're just lacking the damage to be able to contest into this heavy, you know, burst resistant lineup.
Oh, this is not good. Ben is disconnected away from the team. They have been able to run into Yassi. but they're losing their offlane right now on the Centaur, and even Morphling just murks the Lion as well. Gets the stamp for the death, but Drew's got the Abyssal Blade. Bing, Stormhammer doesn't get the BKB off fast enough. Down with the last second time walk. Bing just makes it away, but they're going to lose the Queen of Pain. Bing has to now turn, but he's going to still end up falling, and Signal, they got a couple of buybacks, but it just doesn't matter. Down so much gold. And they're going to have to call it quits here. It's 496, too strong.
Yeah, way too strong, and they were just lacking the damage, lacking the synergy. It's hard, right? Because they needed to be able to pop everything onto one.
Pasarapin ang bangon with Nescafe Creamy White. May
You are the shadow to my light. Did you feel us? Another start, you fade away. Afraid our aim is out of sight. Wanna see us alive? Where are you now? Where are you now? Where are you now? Was it all in a fantasy? Where are you now? Were you only imaginary? Where are you now? Atlantis, under the sea, under the sea. Where are you now? Another dream. The monsters running right inside of me. I'm faded. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. Where are you now? Where are you now? I'm burning bright but faded lights. You've set my heart on fire. Where are you now? Where are you now? I'm burning bright but faded lights. You've set my heart on fire. Where are you now? Where are you now? Where are you now? Atlantis, under the sea, under the sea. Where are you now? Another dream. The monsters running right inside of me. I'm faded. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. I'm faded. So lost. I'm
Remember the words you told me, love me to the day I die. Surrender my everything, cause you made me believe you're mine. Yeah, you used to call me baby, now you're calling me by name. Takes one to know one, yeah, you beat me at my own damn game. You pushing, I'm pulling away from you. I'm giving you take. Young blood, say you want me, I need
But we kind of like it's all that we know. I'm just hoping we get it right. Every conversation is another sign. Heaven only knows we're too close. Falling like the lights that keep us blinded. We're higher than the stars that shine. I need you close to me. There's gravity pulls us together in a pie. Every night we're like astronomy. I need you close to me. There's gravity pulls us together in a pie. Every night we're like astronomy.
Remember the words you told me, love me to the day I die. Surrender my everything, cause you made me believe you're mine. Yeah, you used to call me baby, now you're calling me by name. Takes one to know one, yeah, you beat me at my own damn game. You pushing, I'm pulling away from you. I'm giving you take. Young blood, say you want me. Out of your life, and I'm just a dead man walking tonight. But you need it, yeah, you need it all of the time, yeah. Young blood, say you want me. Back in your life, so I'm just a dead man crawling tonight. Cause I need it, yeah, I need it all of the time, yeah. Lately our conversations end like it's the last goodbye. Yeah, one of us gets too drunk and calls about 100 times. So who you been calling, baby? Nobody could take my place. When you're looking at those strangers, hope to God you see my face. Young blood, say you want me. Out of your life, and I'm just a dead man walking tonight. But you need it, yeah, you need it all of the time, yeah. Young blood, say you want me. Back in your life, so I'm just a dead man crawling tonight. Cause I need it, yeah, I need it all of the time, yeah. You pushing, I'm pulling away from you. I'm giving you take. You're running around and I'm running away from you. From you. Young blood, say you want me. Out of your life, and I'm just a dead man walking tonight. But you need it, yeah, you need it all of the time, yeah. Young blood, say you want me. Back in your life, so I'm just a dead man crawling tonight. Cause I need it, yeah, I need it all of the time, yeah. Young blood.
Another heading slowly, charted slowly, taken. And the violence calls such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are fighting. Another heading slowly, charted slowly, taken. And the violence calls such silence. Who are we mistaken? must be mistaken. It's the same old team since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they're all dying. And our heads slowly, divided slowly, they burn. And our violent cause such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they're all fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they're all crying. They told me to stay friends, that we would never make it. If things are getting tense, there's no way we could take it. Don't know what to believe with everything I'm hearing. No, I don't wanna leave. I'll tell you what I'm feeling. I think they might have it all wrong. You and me, we got this so strong. I know we can get it just a little closer, just a little closer. Come on, baby, let your body have fun. I know that you want us back on. What if you could have me just a little closer, just a little closer? Just a little closer, just a little closer. Just a little closer, just a little closer.
He's just shoving the lane out a little bit, but the line's actually just hiding right next to the tree. That's it. We'll get the hex on. Actually, counter
And we can't let them make it. Don't wanna see the end.
Yeah, so who knows if we'll see like a defensive support from the night team pick up, but
Then you'll be disappearing. And I don't wanna leave. I'll tell you what I'm feeling. I think they might have it all wrong. You and me, we got this so strong. I know we can get it just a little closer, just a little closer. Come on, baby, let your body have fun. I know that you want us back on. What if you could have me just a little closer, just a little closer? Just a little closer, just a little closer.
like I said, I think Storm is a hero that's always, we now have the capability to get that instant start. And the league to provide that for, I really feel like this matchup will have
Just a little closer, just a little closer. Just a little closer.
Dire team pick. Dire team pick. Radiant
go back in the opposite way where Lena, super squishy, really doesn't want heroes up in your face, and Storm can provide that, and the Earth Spirit can provide that as well. And this is a duo that we see a lot across Dota, especially Southeast Asia. Grimstroke, Earth Spirit,
This is how I treat myself.
they can cover their tracks so well together.
I don't even know this side. Throw me into the fire. I felt the pain when I shed my skin. Tastes like poison. Feeling high. Listen to the voices.
Again, you need to be up there in their face to be able to get a lot of this stuff off. Maybe they're going to rely on the support, whoever it might be. You know, if it's a tiny form.
Feel it rushing through my veins. Take another bite of pain. Wash it all away like rain.
Signal going for the aggressive movements with the smoke, with a blink dagger on the tiny, for example, or if it's going to be these turnaround bait plays coming from Ursa. He's one of those heroes that can actually withstand a lot of this early initiation coming in onto him, provided he's not silenced, right? That's the bane of their existence, right? Being able to be silenced up before he's
Dire
able to
team
pop the
back.
array.
Now, what are we feeling for 496? Because I have a feeling they could just go back into the Sven. I mean, we see it with the Darks here a lot. Great with the Grimstroke. But the Ursa now getting picked up from Signal kind of... Does it give you a bit of a warning for picking up the Sven? Because you can't
10
really
seconds
man-fight him?
remaining.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more challenging. I mean, it even could be something like a
Radiant
Monkey
team
King,
back.
perhaps. Who, you know, it is still hard to fight into him, but at least you've got that lifesteal capabilities. You've got a little bit more movement speed, and of course, you've also just got the Darkseer that can surge you away if you are just in a 1v1 man fight once the stuns are used. Whoever the position one is, they're going to need
10
to play
seconds
pretty damn
remaining.
heavily
Dire team
around their
back.
BKB. They even jug?
Radiant
Oh no,
team
it's
pick.
banned. They're just getting rid of all sorts of cleave as much as they can. Taking as much away from this position one as possible. I mean, what's left in the pool? Is Troll been banned? Yeah, Troll's out. No, yeah, they've got a lot of lockdown for a Weaver.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Yeah, and again, a lot of burst as well.
5
yeah,
seconds remaining.
Tiny doesn't have a lot of armor. Lion, Lena, pretty squished.
yeah, I guess you just kill everyone else and don't leave the Ursa to last.
It even helps
Dire
with
team pick.
being able to take up big stacks, right? Well, maybe not now against the Centaur, but like you just put the Ion Shell onto the PA, use the Blur, stand on top of an Ancient stack, for example, and make that a little bit
Choose
quicker.
your hero.
I was talking about playing around those BKBs and making it a little bit more difficult for, of course, the Lena, the Lion, and the Tiny to have an impact. 1v1, Lifestealer doesn't have a fantastic matchup against.
No, it really doesn't, but I feel like Lifesteal this game, you've got the Storm Spirit carrier, you got the Earth Spirit. Lifesteal, a surged up Iron Shell is a massive, massive issue to deal with the Lion, the Lena. These are two incredibly squishy supports, and with 496's roster, it really seems like they have the capability just to assassinate these two supports at the start of the fight, and then they can deal and kite with the rest of the heroes. As long as you can kind of tank through that one combo from Tiny, and then you should be able to get another kill when that's on cooldown. And the matchup versus the Centaur as well is pretty solid too. You got the Grimstroke in the lane, so I like the Lifesteal getting picked up from 496. Like you said, my only worry is like, can you've got... You play with the Rage, but you're going up against someone with an instant stun in the Hex, so you've got a way to get bursted, and you're going up against the Ursa, so you can't really man-fight him. Those are the two issues.
I mean, Ursa needs to be either the last or the second last hero to die in every single team fight. 496 are going to win, right? You got to clear up the Lena, you got to clear up the Lion, and then go for the rest. You know, James Z, yeah, he's a bit more tanky, so you could probably leave him until a bit later on, but it's just going to be the game of kiting out this big Ursa. You've got a lot of potential to do it, right? You got the zips, you got the slows, you got the movement speed. Really, all that's lacking is Lifesteal having a little bit of movement, but even the Surge is able to save.
No, how are we feeling about this? Do we think 496 are going to be able to take their first his victory of the Season 2 lower division, or can Signal to push this to a Game 3?
I think it's just going to depend on, again, how they take these team fights, right? We saw multiple times that they were just that little bit short on experience for example, the Finger of Death, or you didn't quite have the level 2 ultimate, your mid lane
Prepare
last
for
game.
battle.
But this time around, I think what we're going to be seeing 496 in particular play around is the BKBs. You know, if you're able to get a BKB super early onto Hung, that's going to be nice. Sure, yeah, so Yassi's going to get the urn first. I wonder if he's going to go into a Spirit Vessel or if he's just going to straight up rush the BKB like we see a lot of spirits go now.
I love this part.
We'll see. Yeah, and he's got a Darks here as well, so he's going to be so active through that early to mid game here, and you know, it could be very, very difficult. We saw that Van Centaur struggled in the last game. His laning phase when started off rough, but he was solo, then got a little bit of help, of course, from great rotations from Eris, but it was just not a game where Centaur was able to thrive like they needed for Signal, and it kind of looks like it's required once again, because if he doesn't have a strong game, then who do they put in the front line? Like, Tiny's doesn't want to fulfill that role. You really need to play on your blink initiation to burst one hero down, and you know, Ursa not really going to fulfill that role either.
The battle begins.
Yassi's got to be careful here. Ends up rolling away from them with the what, drops the what. But yeah, I mean, there was no way you could take a fight on your own against the threat of this many stuns that Signal's able to throw. Feels like Signal do need to play around that counter gank, I guess. You know, try and lure 496 to overextend a little bit, hide out those BKB timings when they eventually do arise. Why is he keeping that? Yeah. Oh, he's one.
Yeah.
No experience for you, Yassi. It's all for me. I hate them so much.
And Tiny's someone that wants, the Earth Spirit, like, can get some experience as well. Like, getting a decent level 2 is not bad for him, but yeah, Storm's like, nah, all for me, all for me. You get the gold, at least that's good enough for you.
Free son of a bitch. Well, he's been able to, you know, roll in onto Grims and it tickles him. Bit of a tickle in the bum.
Poor Grims. It's just... Let's see... This could be, I mean, down bot's pretty devastating, honestly, for either team. It's a Lion Ursa, a stun with this hero that can get super aggressive in the lane, but you've got that BB with the surge capability, who's able to move pretty goddamn speedy now.
Nice little free pull there by Yassi again. He's going to roll in onto Grims. He's always going to need to be careful of this, right? Because if he's off the point and aiming towards that T1 tower, you've got the lockdown, you've got the slows to be able to take him out pretty damn easily. Not quite those so far, though.
Gonna get the big creep. Oh, we got it.
Radiant's bottom tower
I might
is
even get
under
the choreo.
attack.
Never mind. We do see how's top looking right now. Drew. We see this lane's going to get a lot more difficult for Van and even for Eris as well. I mean, Drew's got the boots of speed queued up and it's coming out in the choreo now. So once he's got that and also a couple more points in the levels for the Grimstroke, they can really get aggressive here on Eris. But he's going to take up some right-click damage. That Light Strike Ray getting the connection along with the Hoof Stomp, and Drew has to pop the Fairy Fire. He's going to get selfed up, however, from Bombi. So you see, did Drew come out to the lane with regen, or was it actually just the good old Tango trick that not really seeing enough lately?
I think he just got the one set of tangos, so he should be just fine. He's already got the... He actually needs to go to you, Drew. It eventually ends up being delivered, but... I mean, he already has very fast movement speed on this Lifestealer, now 370, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to be able to take him out. He might just go for the one value point into the rage. It's very easy to pump fake the Life Strike Array.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Actually, is Eris the one in trouble?
Drew's got some stick charges, but yeah, he's going to be careful how he postures right now, although Eris is still holding his ground, and another Stroke of Fate will be available for Bombi, and even Drew thinking about coming back over. Bombi, though, On point there with the stroke, 2 points in the queue. It's enough damage to get the kill. That's first blood for Bombi.
Trying to harass a little bit here onto Van with a 2 points in the beast. To withstand relatively well. Get the harass in before Eris comes back to the lane, so nicely done there.
See the. How do you feel like Lifesteal is a hero now with that new change that we saw through the last patch? I mean, the feast, a little bit of that max health damage getting reverted back, and see the Good Frenzy is pretty nice in the laning stage too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not near the level of busters that it used to be, where, you know, you also got the attack, like, you actually need to skill up at least one
Radiant's
into
middle
all three
tower
abilities
is
at
under
this stage
attack.
that get all of the previous benefits that you have, attack speed and other stuff too. I think it's good. Like, it's a solid, like, A-, which is what I want to see out of here. So everything should be an A-.
It feels like there's a lot of viable heroes right now, which is everything you want to see in a game of Dota. Just keeps the meta a little bit fresh as Eris is getting chunked down. You see Drew though. Van didn't have enough mana for the hoof stomp, so wasn't actually going to push them back. But Drew really is not last hitting well up top on the lifesteal. I mean, he's only got 56 damage. It's getting buffed up a little bit thanks to the Quelling Blade, but he's struggling at the moment. It looks like he's putting a lot more pressure on trying to zone out and bring down the resources a signal.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're going up against stuns, it's always going to be really effective, right? I do like it. Again, I'm going to talk about shards again, but lifesteal
Oh, but lane Dark's here. He's going to end up falling there. They got the control just as he used the soul ring, so he lost a lot of health without using any abilities. And now Yassi as well is going to get caught. This lane from Signal can be super up in your face, and Ursa with the stun combo, it's a lot of damage. And you know, Bing went for that phase boots early on, so you see he's just looking to dominate the lane and find kills with this itemization. He's complementing it really well with his playstyle.
He's pretty damn farmed. He's already got the tranquil boots, 500 towards
Top lane. Just gonna TP in for the kill on Eris, and Hung still got the vortex to drag back Van. He can play around with the hoof stomp, but there's still a lot of damage that's gonna come through. Hung even might be able to drop another overload if he wants to use the one charges there, but Van already with the Vanguard is a pretty tanky beast.
Now they take away this big stack. Not sure actually who was the one to build this up. We know Bombi's the stack king, but in their lane with against the Centaur, wouldn't have been surprised if it was him either.
Yeah, we already see what Bombi could do last game. Mid, yes. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, we saw what Bombi could do last game on an Oracle, and that's not even an easy support to make stacks. And now you got someone like the Grimstroke, makes it even easier, and it's already showing right now as Storm's loving life.
Nicely done by Yassi as well to manipulate the creep wave, making sure that
Radiant's
the two
bottom
melee creeps
tower
that were
is under
remaining were
attack.
dragged out of range, prioritize the siege creep. He's gonna die again though.
Looking very rough here for the Darkseid. 3 deaths at the moment. Jamesy swinging through down bot, looking to get involved on the Tinies. It's his first kill participation in the game.
Now I'm a fiend for my Aghanim shards, but I really like Lifestealer's one. You know, now the fact that deals 2% of the target's max health per attack on the target when you use that open wound is going to be real nice against the likes of Centaur. Maybe not so much Ursa, but Centaur and Tiny for sure.
Drew's baiting at the moment. He's got Rage, Stick Charge, and also with 3 rotations coming through. There's the Sticks coming through, so it gives him enough health to be able to trade away. And now with the roll as well, catches out Van. Perfect target prioritization. They use enough resources to get the kill on the Lina. Meanwhile, Yassi rolls in to Centaur from being able to retreat away from the aggressive movement that 496 was dishing out there. It's a great bait from Drew.
Great bait, mate, and more importantly, unlike on the bot lane with the Lion, it's the carry that gets both of these kills. So Drew's right back in it, even though the last hits aren't still looking that great for him. He's right on target with the rest of these cores, and I mean that's the thing, right? You've got a Centaur, he's very tanky, but if you get on top
Dyer's
of him and
middle
lock him
tower
down,
is
he's
under
not at that
attack.
point yet where he's going to be, you know, too much to handle. You know, he doesn't have the Stampede, he doesn't even have boots yet. He's going to be able to get away most of the time, whereas Darkseer, at least he's got the Surge. He's going to be able to survive most of these early initiatives.
Regeneration.
Now, yeah, it's been a tricky lane though for DatBB, hasn't it?
This big pull coming off here. DatBB hasn't been able to scout it out just yet, with the nighttime not quite having the vision. Really juicy for him if he was able to spot it. He actually is going to be the one ending up taking it.
Oh, hit a broach for a tiny. Oh, it's the dream. It really is the dream. You see James is rushing that blink as well, not going for anything like the phase or a stat item in between, so recognizing that he really needs to get involved and make his mark on this second game here.
And just a little bit more harass being put in onto Drew. He's farming happily under his tower though, and again, you've got this roaming gang squad. Yassi, Hung, Bombi. They're all playing around each other. Real nice. Could be trying to bait out. I mean, they left that boundary in there for quite a while. Jamesy to come into the lane. Really go for this on Yassi.
I take what I please.
I don't know if they can kill Jamesy. They've got heroes in the area, but without seeing Grims right now, and you were highlighting that Signal to always have that capability of baiting a hero and then Grims popping out of nowhere with the Lion and turning it around, and you know, they were thinking about making a similar play.
This is the Blink Dagger reveal though from James. He's
Radiant's
only
middle
level 8
tower
and he
is
opted
under
to
attack.
put the 1 point into Grow to be able to withstand a lot of this right click damage. Van, he's trying to kite out as best as he can. He might need to use the Stampede, but he's silenced before he can.
Oh, now with the Stampede allows Grims to just close the distance so they can get that chain locked down, stopping the Storms from disengaging, and Dire, they're still going to drop the Observer Ward though. Bombi's got to be careful because the Delta split coming through. They wrap around on both ankles here, so 496 just these two heroes at the moment. Even Drew right now as well. He's able to man fight Grims. Yassi with the roll in. It's a nice LSC on two. Jamesy, he's got some one charges to use the combo, but now with the Infest allows Yassi to retreat away. That baby's coming over. It's a great use of the wall on the high ground. Forces Jamesy and Eris to rethink how they want to play this fight. And it looks like they actually have to retreat away. Sven is going to be the sacrificial lamb. He maybe gets a deny, but meanwhile, actually, even Hung a long zip in, catching out Eris.
Value of information again, right? Just dropping that sentry, that Observer Ward on the way before starting that fight.
Dire's
Having that
bottom
one up
tower
on
is
Signal
under
ends up
attack.
costing them a couple of extra kills.
Oh no, they got an Observer Ward. Oh, illusion. No, he's still going to get brought down. Cute attempt, but
Radiant's top tower
didn't
is
destroy
under
the
attack.
right click as the Lion was there for the control, and it's two quick deaths there
Dire's
on the
bottom
Storm
tower
Spirit. You saw
is
he
under
was
attack.
on target for a
Radiant
very good
structures are
timing
fortified.
in this Orchid, but you know, the early blink from Tiny putting a little bit of a stamp.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
I mean,
under
Jamesy,
attack.
you can't fault too much about how he's played that, right? He's now 3-0-1. Good effectiveness of that early blink timing, and now he's going straight into the epicenter. So again, it's all about this solo target burst. At least this time
Dire's
around,
middle
they
tower
don't have the
is
heroes
under
that can
attack.
save, so you can feel so much more confident about going for these 12 minutes coming up. So the some value runes coming through. He's going to use the blink dagger to be able to pop it, and ends up being the right decision. The haste rune.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Man, Bombi. Oh, sorry. If a Bean gets that kill, he's really close to the Battle Fury. He's probably going to get the
Radiant's
tower
bottom
gold as
tower
well
is
and
under
all the
attack.
creeps. So, bit unfortunate that Van got it, but it's still going to be an incredible timing for a Bean
Dire's
on this
top
Battle
tower
Fury.
is under attack.
Coming from Van.
Dire's top
the
tower
middle of the map.
has fallen.
Trying to put a bit more pressure onto
Dire's
this mid
middle
tower.
tower
Of course, the
is under
retaliate.
attack.
Assist with chunking through this. He's got the Vanguard, so he's able to withstand a lot of the
Radiant's
pressure onto him.
bottom
They
tower
found
has
out.
fallen.
Bing.
Really nice.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's
attack.
been a real awkward game
Dire's
for that
structures
BB.
are
I mean, he's still got more farm than the Centaur Van, honestly, but 4 deaths is giving away a lot more kills than what he was more than likely hoping for his mid lane.
Dire's middle tower has
496.
fallen.
They bring the reinforcements to try and protect that tier 1 tower. It does end up falling, and with the Stampede already used from Van, he's not going to be able to reset. They're going to try and roll in. It's the Orchid picked up on Hong Kong. LSA only finds a connection on 1, but Signal on the high ground. They got the numbers to at least turn and dish out their own amount of damage here as the Earth Spirit loses his life. They're unable to find the kill on James.
And there was that return burst potential that I was talking about. This time around, they didn't fall for it on 496. They didn't want to commit too heavily, just tossing out Yassi's Earth Spirit on the front lines here. Now you can see they've got this deep ward up. They know that Ursa is hanging around this ancient stack. He's going to go for one extra kill, but
Oh, even Stampede as well there. And now they're going to take the stack wave. Radiant, I don't think they can contest it. So that's a lot of net worth going towards the 496 heroes. And even Grim's going to be careful. He's already got a blink on the line, but now Tiny with the combo. Nice use of the silence. He doesn't have enough burst potential. Now with the Orchid use as well, Hong stops Van from being able to run in and utilize that hoof stomp as they're just losing hero after hero. And now even Storm's got a regen if he wants to go back in here, but Eris to be able to reset and get back underneath the safety of the tier 2 tower, but such a solid fight there from 496, utilizing that deep observer ward to their advantage, getting the Ursa kill and then linking that into more kills as well.
Hung's just, I was about to say, just keeping his regen rune going, but it was mostly expired by that point. Are they able to get this follow-up on? Just a good amount of burst.
You and yours will not
He's
prevail.
going to claim the kill there. You see Hong just posturing a bit aggressively. Unfortunately, this is a game where they don't have that defensive support like they did previously from 496, and you kind of have to respect what Radiant can dish out damage-wise. That wasn't even without the Laguna Blade. That's just one stun, and Ursa, you know, getting the Fury swipes to add up there.
Yeah, respecting the fact that, look, Earthshock's not going to be that effective against this line, right? Talking about before, the only person that's going to kill is probably the Grimstroke. He's not the main target in all of these engagements. It's going to be picking off a Darkseer, an Earth Spirit, or a Storm Spirit that just extends a little bit too far. That point in the overpower is enough to pick him off. And we've also seen here, I'm liking this from Bombi. You know, he's just gone these little items that have high effectiveness: the fluffy hat, the cloak. He's finished up his tranquil boots, and then he's just going straight into the shard. Why not? They're gonna find out Van one more time as well.
Centaur just can't have a game once again. Struggling. I mean, he pops the hood Stampede, and that's actually enough, but it's really seen so far this game. It's been Stampedes very defensively and not netting them a lot out of it at all, but I guess it keeps his life, and he's somewhat going to be happy with that.
This is actually a really cool game for the Darkseer to go the Axe. I mean, now it is very much the standard build for him outside of the mech, but I mean, both the Lifestealer and the Storm and the Earth Spirit all would love to have it. So just being able to provide them with that little bit of extra tankiness, and of course the damage that comes from it. It's got the Ion Shield Radius as well instead of the armor, so even though he's that position 3 Darkseer, playing much more of that backline role.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of heroes that this Darkseer wants to be giving the shell over to. So just having that plus 20 seconds, the 2 charges can really give him a more freedom with how he wants to use it, and you know, maybe that extra health could be enough to offset some of the burst potential, and Signal might not be ready for that. So we'll see how that can come into play. We haven't really seen that BB get involved though in the Darkseer. Had a rough laning stage and has been looking to catch up, and you know, again though, it's showing the net worth that at least right now he's ahead of his counterpart in the off lane, and we'll see how he's going to be able to use that net worth to their advantage then.
He's even got the Nether Shoal as well. Doesn't end up keeping it for himself. Maybe the
Dire are scanning.
grab that one. This is an early Roche attempt. I mean, it's not a bad idea, you know. 496, they're being a little bit greedy. They're wanting to make sure that they're splitting up on the map as much as possible to be able to get their next key items. But if they're able to take this, and you know, more importantly, not just getting the Aegis itself, but also resetting the timer for the second time.
Your shard has fallen
With
to the
that Axe
race.
shard coming through, you know it's going to be at around the 26 or so minute mark. What our Bombi here?
Very nicely done with the Orchid. Grimshick just runs back in, kind of puts his body on the line there. It's like, alright, you know, tanks up some abilities, tanked up the smoke, and they do see Van running solo right now. Dive got very good vision in the area, but
Radiant's bottom
a
tower
bit afraid
is
that
under attack.
Signal can link up with the tanky Centaur before they're able to bring him down.
This is the Ags though. The Darkseer. 18-minute
Half
Ag.
1 and 6. Hung's got a regen as well, so he's got that in the arsenal. They gave him the Nether Shawl. To get the kill on Van. Let's see, is he tanking off foot? Hasn't been popped just yet. The rotation's coming through. Stampede on cooldown, and well, they're gonna get the kill before the rotations are fast enough. It looks like now the answers are coming up. Hung actually gonna look to turn before he resets. He's got that regen, so a lot of mana to play with, but Bombi will end up losing his life. 496, they're still coming over with the numbers though, Drew. Long with that BB, we'll see this potential Aghanims coming to play on the Darkseer, but they have to kite the Ursa. A Bing's damage way too far through the roof. Maybe they can kite James as well. A nice bash. Damages are there. They're back into the wall on 2 with the LSC. He's not able to find it. Nice use of the infest as well. Hung gets a massive amount of health back, and they've left the Ursa to last. He's got that ages to play around with the second life, but it's not enough when you don't have extra heroes. Orchid's out. Stampede, can he get up on the high ground? There's no control just yet. Hung, he's used a lot of his mana, but Drew's still hunting. He can close the distance. Now might look to turn his attention to Van as well. That BB surge back up, and now Grimm's nice use of the Finger of Death. Unable to pop the rage. It was still on cooldown, unfortunately for Drew. So overstepping the mark just a little bit there on the life stealer. But you do see, this is something that we were speaking about in the draft. 496, they have to play heavily around on kiting the Ursa and leaving Kim to last, and that's where they can be successful in these team fights.
I mean, they played it pretty damn well. I feel like maybe just underutilizing the use of the Surge on the Lifestealer. Realistically, what can the Lion do? He's got the Blink Dagger. What can the Lena do? She's got the Ghost Scepter, so it's not too bad, but a lot of these heroes, once you use that initial combo, they can't do anything against the Lifestealer. Like, even Jamesy, right? He's got a Blink Dagger himself. He might be able to hit a couple of right clicks, but got 2,200 health. You don't really want to be contesting right clicks into a Lifestealer, especially one that's got Ion Shell, plus 300 health, and the burn radius coming.
Stonefall.
Let's see. They were trying to bait. It's actually Radiant that have the Observe Ward. They're going to jump on forward. That ward on the high ground, that instantly gets dewatered, but Hung's going to try and zip in. He's going to be careful because Ursa's still nearby. If he doesn't burst the Lion fast enough, he needs to reset, but he gets the kill, and now with the Stampede, but Radiant coming over. It's a great move from Rand, now with the follow-up as well, with all the lockdown. Signal Ultra just burst through 3. James, he gets a double. Hung able to just zip away with his life there, and now we're seeing Radiant. You know, the team fight's starting to stack up here for the boys on Signal.
It's good, right? Like, it's one of those bait situations that I was talking about before. The fact that you lost the line, it's not that big of a deal, but again, Darkseer just staying around that little bit too late. I feel like there needs to be a bit more heavy communication coming from Hung in particular about when he can continue. Now he's even got the Iron Sand, which is really nice for being able to sustain.
Dire are scanning.
One of those items that we're just seeing through 7.29, that mana regen amp 30% to 50%. It's getting a lot more love through a lot of heroes right now in Dota. We see how the Storm's able to utilize a lot more of that regen throughout the mid game now.
You can see the Spirit Vessel's picked up on Yassi. Like, it's nice. I just don't feel like it's
Dire's structures
mega
are
necessary.
fortified.
Because the Ursa's always going to be able to enrage it off. It's decent against 2 Blink Dagger carriers in the center of Tiny, and of course the HP, but I just feel like having that earlier BKB would be so much more impactful.
We got an even game here though in our second game. I mean, 496 at this stage were able to grow a pretty solid net worth lead that was difficult for Signal Ultra to feat there in the first game, and at least
Half minutes. It was pretty damn fast after this.
We definitely got a second game that's Going to be action-packed right now heading into our mid-game. We're going to smoke up from Signal and we'll see who they're able to find here. Are there any key targets that Signal need to bring down? There's no like defensive support, so is it just always jump the storm if you can?
Honestly, got the Earth Spirit at the moment, and they're going to pick him off, which is quite nice. I feel like being able to take out the Darkseer is pretty damn important as well, right? You've got that extra HP that you're able to provide.
This is deep. Soul blind, but they can still run away with the Stampede. Vans linked up right now with Eric. It's going to allow the long dip on top of the backline as well. If they can kind of bing, and they're doing so at the moment, but the Ursa unable to dish out any damage. Now they're going to try and look to deal with the Bing, but he's still got the Rage, but the rest of Radiant, they've just retreated away from the Ursa. Bing's getting no love at all from the fellow Signal heroes. And yes, he's still trying to look to catch. I mean, maybe Jamesy can burst him down. Nice use of the silence. Disrupts the combo from Grims. And now the 496 heroes are coming over. Drew looking to get involved. Eris will hold him back a little with the light track raid, but they've got the surge up and available. Fingering death with the tower hit. That'll find the kill. But it's meant that Signal Ultra have had to stick around here. They even get the X-Wall stun just in the nick of time as Lion. He pokes his head out of the tree line, but it's going to cost him his life there as 496. Another fight where we see them do an incredible job to kite the Ursa, and Signal just kind of gave up all hopes to keep it being there and alive.
And again, that's the use of the Agshot X-Well. So you just, whoever you pop it on, you can be committing that little bit extra. It means that
Radiant's middle tower has
Yassi,
fallen.
both of them, even though they don't have the BKBs yet, they're confident enough to be able to go in super deep. And even then the Lifestealer, right? You've got that little bit of extra safety net once your Rage is on cooldown.
It is such a crazy talent. It's just, it's nuts. It's so nuts. I mean, they nerfed it a little bit through 7.29B,
Not enough.
but even then, it just feels, yeah, not enough. It just feels so
Radiant's top
stupid.
tower is
You
under
could
And you see,
attack.
like,
take away the heal and damage component, and it would still be pretty damn strong.
Yeah, because getting any hard dispel for 1400 gold is ridiculous. Like, there's not many heroes that have a hard dispel in this game, and you like, a Grimstroke has everything. Like, he literally does everything. Wave clear, silence, stun, strong laner, BKB piercing control, team fight. Now you add kind of a way to deal with a lot of illusion heroes, kind of with that Agnums, like it's pretty decent. Now you've got a defensive hard dispel. Like what?
Yeah.
How can this hero actually have everything? There's a reason why he's busted right now, and we see him so often.
He's the strongest hero in the
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's showing himself a little bit here. He's going to opt for look, he's safe. Not safe entirely, but he was safe from the start of the ban.
Corner.
Well, I guess he was just aware that there was a potential roach spawn, so I guess getting the information, making sure that Signal, it wasn't a fast spawn, but who knows, it still could be up, they're not aware. So 496 have to keep tabs around the area of Roshan here.
They're going to be ready to fight soon, though. It's a minute and a half away. They don't know that, but you've got the BKB now coming out for the Storm Spirit. It's going to coincide somewhat with the
Dire's
respawn
top
timing here
tower is
on
under
our
attack.
Grimstroke. No charges in the Spirit Vessel is a little annoying. They'll be wanting to try and get a kill onto the Lion first. Quickly burst him down so you can
Dire's
get those
top
vessel
tower is
charges.
under attack.
Leader will do too.
That's just a good hero to be able to get those charges over. 2 now for Yassi to play with. They pop the Stampede, and this is a lot of information for 496. They actually want to go for the Ursa up top, who it looks like Bombi's setting up for at the moment, and they're kind of in the area to link forward with Bombi as well. So Bing's going to be pretty careful. Oh, a Bing. And Rage, it's popped early on. Now belongs it forward as well. He's away from the team, but it's not going to matter. Even though they got the T1 tower, he doesn't have this damage mitigation here, but the ultimate's going to attempt the TP up with the X-Pulse stun. It's there in the nick of time. That's just such good awareness from 496. You see that Signal Ultra were away from the Ursa, and instantly the Grimstroke goes to try and find that setup of the pickoff, and now they can get a T1 tower, and more importantly, this is right before Roshan, so they can get some deep observe wards down around the triangle, which can give them a lot of great map control for this second Roche.
They're lucky enough that they at least have this deep sentry ward down, so they're going to be able to de-ward here. Might cost someone their life because Drew's still kind of hanging around. Dude, he's been cutting the wave. He's a madman. You're up against a Laguna,
Dire's
Finger of
bottom
Death,
tower is under
Blink
attack.
Stun, Tiny Avatos combo.
He ain't give a damn right now on Drew. What's the next item you think for the life sword? Does he commit on the
Radiant's
Abyssal?
top
Down
tower
bot?
is under
Storm?
attack.
Grims has got Finger of Death. It's level 2 as well. Hung pops the BKB, but no, Jamesy. The last swipe of the tree. Stampede into the TP yard. I think Jamesy
Radiant's
should make
top
it. No,
tower is
the
under
back
attack.
from that baby is actually there at the long range. Just finds the Tiny. So they do get a nice kill on the Storm Spirit, but it costs Signal Ultra their own position too.
I wonder if they're even considering buying back for this. Because we mentioned before, right? Second Roche, Ag Shard, super important for this Ursa to be able to commit into these teams. If he doesn't have that, the game becomes very, very difficult for him as it progresses. Lifestealer, he's nearly got the Scardy. See you later, Ursa.
Bombi as well just gets bursted. Eris is actually going to be okay. Now with Van's Hoof Stomp, nicely played Signal. They now have the numbers advantage. They're going to be careful with that BP. Looking to come over and counter initiate. Maybe just giving a little bit of space to Drew because he can man fight. And now Ursa's actually going to be pretty careful here with the rage on cooldown. 496. They can still push on forward. Drew at the moment is just too much for them to handle, especially with the backup of the Darkseer. You give him Shell, give him Surge, and Drew will go to work.
He's still Centaur dead though, and it's still a bunch of ultimates popped to be able to get that early pick off. And well, this is Roche. I want to see that Ag Shard go over to the Lifesteal. I feel it's so important for the quicker pickups over onto the Tiny, onto the Centaur.
Now you've got the Aegis in the hands of the Storm Spirit Radiant. They're coming over. You gotta be careful because Dai got very good vision and Yassi can just roll straight on Grims. I mean, he's already got the A on disc, but he's still gonna feed away his life. And even Eris should die as well. Hong Kong's got a lot of mana, but Eris is able to get awake here. So Aegis getting claimed. Lifesteal is actually the one to pick up the Aegis. Yeah, he's got shard as well.
Radiant's top
like it.
tower is under attack.
Again, more sustain. Who needs defensive supports if you've just got this much sustain on your team? Even the Lotus Orb going to be quite nice for being able to counter out any sort of chain lockdowns onto Storm
Radiant's
Spirit in
top
particular,
tower has
who
fallen.
even has an Arcane Rune and a BKB and a Cheese.
Ah, yes. 10,000 net worth lead for 496 and looking like a game where just zip in, Lena, go stepped up, you can still pull it back and Darren's just going to use all that burst potential.
Like, there is no way for them to kill you. They're going to try and burst around and turn this onto the Storm.
Let's see. I mean, the invest, maybe get the cheese off, yeah, but the BKB is still a little bit late there. Wall's going to get dropped, but Radiant, they can push on forward past the wall. Yassi's still going to drop the magnetize. Drew's able to man fight. You've got to keep him up in life. Still's got the Aegis, so it means that Signal Ultra have to deal with the rest of 496's heroes. But can they do so? As Drew's just able to man fight the Ursa, you can't do anything on a Bing, and now it's up to Jamesy and Grim, so they have the burst potential. The Finger, Laguna, both on cooldown right now, so 496 is still able to chase inside the base here. Drew's got the backup, and it's mainly because of the Darkseer. The Iron Shell, along with the Surge, they can't run away from Drew. You'll find a triple kill in the open runs as well, Jamesy. Nice to have a toss combination, but Grimshark's able to tank up through the combo. Now with the Glimmer Cape, he's going to be protected. So the ultra kill for Drew. He's going to try and turn this into a rampage as well. James's Blink's still on cooldown, and he should be able to make it as well. Runs through the ancient, and he should be able to find it. It's a rampage for Drew. Put him in the grave here as the life still just goes to work. What an incredible performance. Oh, the BM as well, just dancing inside the base there.
Radiant's top
I mean,
tower
you're
is
going
under
up against
attack.
a Darkseer lineup, so you're not expecting the Lifestealer to have the spider legs as well, right? I'm sure Tiny
Radiant's
was
top
thinking,
tower has
at
fallen.
least I'll be able to get away by running through the ancient.
Radiant's
Nope,
top barracks
I'm a
are under
spider as
attack.
well.
You just, what do you do? Like, you just,
Radiant's top
it seems like
barracks
Ursa now can't even stand his ground. I mean, Drew's 15, 1, and 13. It's been a really solid series performance from Drew overall. 496, you got to keep in mind, but really I've been impressed from Drew as well.
I mean, they've done
Radiant's
everything
middle
possible to
tower
enable
has
him as
fallen.
much as possible. He's got 8,000 gold, by the way. You can spend some of it. Over here now.
Buy next, he's so farm.
He's got the Scardy queued up. I feel like that's pretty damn nice. Maybe even finish the Abyssal Blade. obviously nowhere near as strong as it used to be, but yeah, he's got Solar Crest is about to land on our Darks here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They're going to try and burst down the Darks here. Let's see if they'll be successful at doing so. He's relatively tanky at the moment. It's DP as well. The interface bonus health is going to be able to keep his life. But Being on Signal, they just ends up losing 3. Now Bing's going to have to retreat back up with the high ground. But they've got the bash. Now with the life still going to work. Signal Ultra. And you successfully killed off the Darks here, but what did it cost you? The buybacks are coming through. Phoenix are going to be careful how deep they dive, but it's not going to matter as Drew's now on top. But James, he hung playing around with the regen, but he's going to be careful. Bing's on top of him with the bash as well. Glimmer doesn't matter. Underneath the tower AoE, so they've got the detection. Storm's even going to buy back as well. Tossing back, they've got the Earth spiking down. Maybe they can control him. The first life is there. Hex is going to come back up in the nick of time. Let's see, Grims, can he chain lock him down? Drew, just in time, gets rage, but now with Bing as well. Deals with the Grim Trick, will get caught outside. Hex, silent to talk. There is Ursa will fall. No buyback. In fact, he's going to be down for 110 seconds here once again. Trying to play around with the toss. They'll do so successfully. No, Drew, again, is in the fountain. Drew, that's not where you want to be. Nice use of the tosses. James, he's got to pop the buyback there. 496, time to get outside the base.
There was some nice tosses coming through. It ends up costing them a few buybacks, and of course the dieback going away the way of the Ursa. But I mean, his Aegis only had a minute or so left. You could afford to go that little bit extra, maybe a bit deeper dive than they needed to. Storm Spirit actually ended up buying back as well. So I mean, a little bit of a win condition has opened up here for Signal. If you're able to take away the Storm Spirit, that's a ton of their damage potential that's taken away from them. And even Yassi going down. Was that a dieback as well?
Oh yeah, I don't even know where Yassi died from. Did he buy back? Yeah, let's see.
He previously.
Yeah,
in
he
the
did.
previous team fight, I think he did.
I mean, it was about a 17,000 net worth lead. It's only 14, but still Signal. I mean, you got a range racked mid. You got a full set of barracks number. Okay, we'll see what they can do here. At least some mainly signs of life.
Signs of life is a good way to put it. You know, for all intents and purposes, 496 have got this. You know, just don't die of the tower. It feels like that's sorry, the fountain. That feels like the only way that Drew's going to die. You know, he ended up giving up a very juicy kill streak. It actually ended up getting split between Japesy and Eris, but still a lot of gold going to a bunch of supports. You've now. Ooh, I'm liking this. You know, he's building into the accent here on the Lena, so even that Aghanim, sorry, the BKB or the Rage is going to be enough to save him a lot of the time. Lamp as well. Shard to launch him after that.
Do you rate the Lena shard? Haven't really seen it too often.
I have never seen it effectively used. I've seen it purchased, but never seems to work out.
Yeah, the effective one is the question. Like, yeah, you can pick it up, but do you actually get good usage out of it? That's the real question.
Illusion.
Dio.
Such, I mean, there's only 2 heroes in the game with buyback right now. It's the Lifestealer and the Centaur. Drew,
Nice spot for the illusion. Oh no, they pop Stampede as well. They've got a reset on the high ground here, Signal. You got to be so careful right now. You're caught outside the base and you have to retreat as a team. It looks like Dire, they're just going to reset.
Stupendous.
They're actually going to go inside the base with this massive wave that's pushing in top. Someone has to deal with it. It looks like it's going to be there, but he's away from the team, so they just have a massive opportunity to be able to burst through the Centaur. He's got
Radiant's middle barracks has
a
fallen.
second full set of racks. There's the toss, but it's not inside the mountain as what we saw previously was enabled them to find the kill on Drew. He's able to turn and manfire the parallel walls as well. Bing's going to move on forward with the Earthshock, and now they're controlling that Yassi, so the Earth Spirit's going to fall. Okay, Signal. They get the buyback there from Van. Does net them 1 kill on the Earth Spirit.
Alright, so if I'm Signal's coach in-game right now, not that they have one, but if that existed in Dota, I would be like, right, we need to funnel the level into Tiny, get him to level 25, get that triple toss back into the fountain. That's the way we're coming back into this game.
What, so blink in, toss back, pop refresher, somehow blink on top of the toss back, and then do it again?
Yeah, it's easy.
No, they just ran through the wall, so I don't know if they were seeing that, but Bing was smoked up. Who they? A Bombi? The classic case of a support roaming ward. Pops and smoke did. Snows is still in the area with James is smoke popping there.
Check that man for back bans on his account because he went right on top of him. It was a pretty good kiting coming through, but 9 legs on its own, not enough, unfortunately. It's only going to be 40 seconds until the next roach. We're not sure what goodies it's going to have on it, but there is a DD rune in the river, so I think 496, they're going to be pretty happy with that. Not sure why you've got a Sange queued up when you've already got a Sange. I didn't know Sange and Sange was an item. Imagine that.
Didn't you know Sange stacks?
True.
It gives you 40 strength, 100% status resistance. It's just broken, Denod.
Imagine that 100%
Dire's
status
bottom tower
resistance.
is under attack.
It's such a stupid concept already. It's actually, I hate status resistance hot. Burst, they got a lot of burst potential. The other Sage just does nothing, and where's your buyback? Why are you there? Oh no.
Dire's
This is
bottom
always the
tower
threat,
is
right?
under
Oh,
attack.
it was a plan. Jamesy's level 25. He's got the 3 toss charges. He's gonna push in this tower a little bit and playing a little bit more defensively than the Ursa just
Dire's
was, but they've been able to
bottom
spot out
tower has
Roche.
fallen.
They're kind of in two minds though. They're like, let's take Roche, let's get the free refresher. Nah, let's just push bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower
Creeps are
is
in the
under
base.
attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, why not here? I mean, Solar Crest, Iron Soul, AC as well, 4,300 health on
Radiant's
Drew,
bottom
got the
tower
Penta
has
Edge
fallen.
Sword. I mean, Tiny's just... it looks like James
Dire's
is looking
bottom
for
tower
gold
is under attack.
for that AC.
There's a bounty room, bro. Take the
Radiant's
bounty.
bottom barracks has fallen.
Oh, no.
Radiant's
No,
bottom
that's enough. Mega creeps now.
The Dire now have mega creeps.
Oh, they can now just...
On the top side, it is not there. It's going to be right in front of Roche. Gaben's smiling on 496 right now. He's got a second Sage coming out to him.
Does he actually? What's going on?
I want to see what the reaction is. Is the chat wheel going to happen? Hello?
Roshan has fallen.
It backpacks the phase boots and puts the Sange in instead of the Aegis, surely.
I mean, maybe it can break, you know? Playing a little bit of Dark Souls lately.
He's got Sundan Yasha queued up. That's so...
Maybe that's what he wanted.
You already know that. Oh, fair. Drew, that's interesting.
Oh no.
They're gonna try to chain lock it down, but the roll from Yassi now with the power roll once again. Nice choose the back with Stampede to give him some distance. They're gonna try and drop the Laguna Blade, but Hung with the Aghanim's drag back both the supports. Now they're gonna refresher as well to utilize Hung once again with the Vortex. 2 down from Signal, so they don't have buybacks. Eris gonna get chased back inside the base as well. James in the next to target. But he's got a BKB, at least we'll keep him some protection with the magic immunity. But 496, they'll use that opportunity now to just deal with the tier 4 towers.
To go for the toss. I know he's going back behind.
Let's see, Jamesy. Nah, unable to do it. Hong pops the cheese, and that's all she wrote.
Is under attack.
Signal Ultra, they're gonna call it quits as 496. They'll take their first series of the Low Division Season 2.
Dire victory.
It was a lot more competitive. That was a fun game to watch, you know? Double Sange builds, you know, everything that you might want to... I mean, it feels like that's just the way to play. Pick Grimstroke, win game. Little bits and pieces where they might have dived a bit too deep, but it was really only Yassi that
Chowking Chinese style fried chicken. May ibang luto.
takes is one glance, and I am taken back. I am under a spell every time that you are near me. I tried not to give in and let myself fall again, but I'm under a trance and I can't deny this feeling. Watching all the people all around me finding truth, I can't help but wonder, do you wonder too? Were we meant for each other, but it just fell apart? Could we last forever if we start over? You kept the sun shining and turned my world into spring. I never thought my life could ever change for this one reason. If I could just go back and hold your hand falling fast and never let it go, 'cause I won't deny this feeling. Watching all the people all around me finding truth, I can't help but wonder, do you wonder too? Were we meant for each other, but it just fell apart? Could we last forever if we start over? Take a chance now, we won't tumble. Wanna roll the dice. In a trance now, I'm full of trouble, but I'll be playing nice. You are the calm, you are the wild. I'm addicted to the feeling. You are the storm, you are the light, the one that keeps me dreaming. We are beautiful, we are so bright. Our love is so kinetic. We are beautiful, we are so right. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. Pull me closer in slow motion. Feel her energy. A roller coaster of emotion, up and down with me. All it takes is one glance, and I am taken back. I am under a spell every time that you are near me. I tried not to give in and let myself fall again, but I'm under a trance and I can't deny this feeling. Watching all the people all around me finding truth, I can't help but wonder, do you wonder too? all around me, finding truth. I can't help but wonder, do you wonder too? Were we meant for each other, but it just fell apart? Could we last forever if we start over? Take a chance now, we won't tumble. Wanna roll the dice. In a trance now, I'm full of trouble, but I'll be playing nice. You are the calm, you are the wild. I'm addicted to the feeling. You are the storm, you are the light, the one that keeps me dreaming. We are beautiful, we are so bright. Our love is so kinetic. We are beautiful, we are so right. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. Pull me closer in slow motion. Feel her energy. A roller coaster of emotion, up and down with me. You are the calm, you are the wild. I'm addicted to the feeling. You are the storm, you are the light, the one that keeps me dreaming. We are beautiful, we are so bright. Our love is so kinetic. We are beautiful, we are so right. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so kinetic. La 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 la, la 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 la. Our love is so magnetic. I can almost smell that liquor through your taste. The bubbles with that starting me stop like you don't know what comes next. We've been here before, know what you're gonna say. Been thinking of you, why don't you come through? There's nobody at my place. I'm always your afterthought when you're in that state of mind. No, you won't, but I wish you'd stop wasting my time. Yeah, because you only love me when you're lonely, when you think I'm moving on with someone else. It's like you like me better when we're not together. like a dream. And now I'm missing your arms wrapped around my body. Where have you been? All of my life I needed this, you are my only. So call me on my cell at night and stay awake until the morning light. You're all I need to feel alright. I know your love will always hold me tight. 'Cause we are perfect, I hope you know. 'Cause we are perfect, despite it all. 'Cause we are perfect, 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 perfect. Forever keep it close to me, 'cause we are perfect. Fire and keep you on me. Will you believe you are my world and next to you I'm never lonely? So call me on my cell at night and stay awake until the morning light. You're all I need to feel alright. I know your love will always hold me tight. 'Cause we are perfect, I hope you know. 'Cause we are perfect, despite it all. 'Cause we are perfect, 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 perfect. Forever keep it close to me, 'cause we are perfect. Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud.